What a powerful intro. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here. This is an emotional moment for me. I've known Dr. J and Todd for years, and they've asked me to speak for years, and I just kept saying no. But here I am. And our God, like the God I serve, is such a redemptive God. I won't go into detail about it, but my life in Vegas was everything Vegas to the worst. Like, I really shouldn't be here right now. I should not even be alive. So it's by the grace of God, I think God's hand on my life, that I'm even here. It's bittersweet because right now at this moment, my wife and my children, my daughters are having a dance recital right now. And I'm missing it. I have not missed a piano recital, a violin recital, a dance recital, or a flag football game for my son ever. But I'm glad I'm here, and they understand. And I was at one of their recitals a month or so ago, and the guy who organizes it came up to me and said, "It's dads that make the difference." And even though those recitals are 2 minutes, like, I wouldn't miss it for the world. So I am just so blessed by so many things I've heard. Sachin Patel blew my mind. He was gracious enough to sit with us at dinner last night and just pour out, share wisdom, share knowledge. I don't even think he ate his meal. He's just such a giver. And I was so inspired by, Dr. Greg honoring his wife and his family. And same with me. My wife is amazing. I would not be here without her. She is a rock star. Given home birth to 3 children in our bedroom. Never took an epidural. I mean, my wife's a badass. I know there's other ones of you out here too, right? And, we chose not to vaccinate our children. And it's amazing. I just have to tell you this story real quick, just as part of my intro, getting to know me a little bit. But at 2 years old, my daughter started having these crazy symptoms of her legs shaking. She couldn't sleep at night. I literally had to walk my daughter around for hours in our house just to get her to fall asleep. She wanted me to carry her everywhere. Thankfully, doing what I do, I said, that doesn't sound right. I'm going to do a lab test. She was 7 times the toxic level of mercury. We didn't vaccinate her. My wife had all her amalgam fillings removed right before we got married, and we got pregnant immediately. We did heavy metal detox with her, and now she's 11 years old, and she's friggin' amazing. My 9-year-old daughter, last fall, started blinking her eyes, doing this with her head. And then it went into her arms, and then into her legs, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, we live this lifestyle. We do this stuff for a living. This isn't happening. And it was the symptoms of PANS. I'm in Kansas City with Dr. Jabin. He's a friend of mine. I called Dr. Jabin. You've worked with a lot of PANDAS kids. Like, give me some thoughts, give me some ideas. Again, we jumped on it, did some labs, did the muscle testing, did all the stuff, and knew what was going on with her. And how many of you know that the body heals itself in reverse? Right? So we did Rife, foot bath, CellCore, supplements, therapies. We found out what was going on with her. And I saw that leave her legs, go back into her arms, back into her head, and then she actually got sick, like a cough again. And whatever it is, I don't care, just get it the hell out of my daughter, right? And so she's well now. She's 95%. And so, a testimony, like, we have to fight. We have to fight for our families, our children. That's why I'm so thankful for every one of you that's here, because you're doing that. You're a light. Right now, I have 22-year-old nonverbal male, 7-year-old nonverbal female, 3.5-year-old nonverbal male. What do they all have in common? Give me a guess. All perfectly normal, healthy, functioning, talking, motor skill development until they got the MMR vaccine. it makes me so angry sometimes. Like, I just want to scream. Like, my office knows that if I come into the office and my voice is hoarse, they know I've been screaming in my car. I'm usually talking to God. I have intense conversations with God. It's like, set my people free. So the 7-year-old, she's talking and she's singing and she's laughing. Last time she came to my office, she looked me directly in the eyes. Her parents had to call me because she got out of bed and went to the bathroom by herself for the first time ever. That's a big win. The 22-year-old and the 3.5-year-old I haven't started working with yet. They're brand new. But we have the power to help so many people. And I know there's a talk coming up on vaccines, but I'm pretty outspoken on this topic. If anybody's watched any of my YouTube videos, but I believe we're in a war. And we need warriors. You guys are warriors. And I believe vaccines, you can think what you want to get about it. I believe it's demonic. I believe it's evil. I believe it was never intended to go into the human body. I mean, picture the Garden of Eden, all its beauty, all this perfection, and then imagine a guy there in a white lab coat with a needle with all these toxic ingredients. Like, it doesn't even make sense. It boggles my mind. But we are in a war. So the reason I give you that intro is because I believe fasting is a threat to the medical industry. I believe you are a threat to the medical industry. And I give the glory, I haven't even gotten to the first slide yet. I'm not into slideshows, but I'm going to do my best. I just like to talk. You know what? I had this song on my heart, and I can't shake it, and I think it's relevant to everything that everybody's been saying this whole time. The first thing I want to say is I also believe in Genesis 2:7 that the Lord God created man out of dust of the earth and breathed into him the breath of life. Think about the oxygen talks we're having. Why do humic and fulvic minerals work? Like, this is creation. This is God's natural created order. And that's the power of fasting, that the ability to heal lives inside of every one of us because we're created in the image of God. So I'm not going to claim to be a singer, but I have to sing this song because it's in my heart, and I hope I get it right. And maybe if I can get a little, I don't know, just a little snap or something, a little thumb click here. I don't know you, but I know you got tension in your neck, stressed out, too addicted to your phone to go to bed. If that's you, then take a breath. Feel these words inside your chest. You are loved, you are chosen, your body isn't broken. For every door he closes, a better one gets open. You got a light inside, too radiant to hide. If you don't think so, let me change your mind. Wherever you go, wherever you stay, don't you forget that love is always coming your way. No matter how far, how broken you are, don't you forget that love is always coming your way, always. You are loved, you are chosen, your body isn't broken. How much have I heard that? Like the last 2-3 speakers, your body isn't broken. Dr. Sinclair said it, it's the body's natural response to being poisoned. We have been poisoned because we live in a broken, messed up, sinful world, but we are the hope. We have hope. All right, so I've done a lot of fasting. I'm very passionate about fasting. I can tell you some funny, crazy, amazing stories about fasts I've done. Do I have any fasters out here? I mean, just quick show of hands. Who's like a Dr. Morse fruit fan guy? Not it. Hardly any Dr. Morse fans out here. A couple, okay. Carnivore people? Yeah? I remember Dr. Darren Schmidt talking about carnivore. I think it was the first nutrition talk I ever heard at a CellCore conference. I'm like, come on. Who's ever done a 10-day water fast? 21 day? 40 day? Oh, okay. It's not easy. I got down to 98 pounds. It wasn't pretty. But I had some amazing encounters with the Lord because we're spiritual beings, right? So I've done a 40-day water fast. So tomorrow I actually turn 50. I'm joining the old man club. I'm excited about it. On my 40th birthday, I did a 40-day water fast 40 days after my 40th birthday start. And so no, I am not doing a 50-day water fast for my 50th birthday, because that sounds crazy. But I've done a lot of fasting. It's extremely powerful. I'm going to give you just a few resources at the end, because as everyone's been saying, like, you cannot touch this topic. Like, this is one of the most massive, important topics used by every culture throughout the world since the beginning of time, right? Every culture, every religion talks about fasting. So I'm going to give you a few resources at the end just to kind of help you on your fasting journey. But the point here is clinical outcomes, right? So how do you improve clinical outcomes? Everybody I work with fasts. It's a requirement. And you guys may or may not realize it, but pretty much everyone you work with, you're requiring to fast at some level. Even if you ask them to stop eating gluten or to change their diet or to go more paleo, to cut out dairy, whatever it is, at some level they're doing a fast. Again, the power inside of us to heal. All right, so fasting is free, right? You actually save money. The most ancient, proven, time-tested, and valuable tool we have available, and God designed it that way. Do we believe that God is a good designer? Like, look around us, how broken our patients are, all the toxins, all the poisons. Do we still believe God is good? Yeah, I believe we can. And you look like a genius. But what you're really doing is just invoking that healing power that exists inside of every single one of us. I don't claim to be a healer. I tell this to my staff. I have other practitioners that work at Spirit of Health. I'm big on this. I'm like, God designed the body. The only one that can heal the body is the one who designed the body. I don't think I can heal the body. I believe in partnering with God, partnering with design. And one of my favorite things to say about fasting is let go and let God. We're in the way, right? We're all in the way. Ourselves, our patients, we're in our own way because He's so amazing. He's so close to us. He's always ready to heal, wanting to heal. Like, that's what He wants. So we just have to help get out of the way and let God do it. Fasting is a royal road to healing for anyone who agrees to take it for the recovery and regeneration of the body, mind, and spirit. 70,000 fasts, this guy. Sickness or disease, fast. Should be a part of what you do in some way. Again, we're just talking about how to improve clinical outcomes. We don't need to go over this. I mean, my goodness, we've nailed the whole toxicity issue. I could tell you so many cool stories. I got a couple. One I'm thinking of is there was a gal who had 4th stage ovarian cancer. She was totally desperate. She went on and did some fasting, but one of the things she did was a dry fast, and I'll never forget, like, the picture she showed me and the words she used to describe what fell out of her in the middle of the night. But she basically said it was a mass, it was black, and it smelled like death. But that's the kind of things that are inside people. Why do we think we have chronic sickness and illness and disease? Because we have, like, literally death building up inside of us. And that's why CellCore and all these therapies and everything we're talking about are so powerful. Because if you can combine them together, people get well. And one of my favorite things to say to my patients, and I would encourage you to do the same thing, it's impossible for you not to get well. It's impossible. If you actually believe in the healing power of God. And you believe that there's just toxins and poisons that are in the way of your healing. And if you combine diet and fasting and therapies and it's literally impossible for people not to get better. We need to have that level of confidence. Obviously, toxins and poisons, but I wanted to mention accumulations because I don't think this one gets addressed a lot, but this is really powerful through fasting. Metabolic acidosis hasn't really been mentioned a lot, but people have a lot of acidic waste built up in their system and their muscles and their tissues. And if you fast, your body starts to release that. And that is a major cause of chronic illness and disease. The body will break down stones. I was a little bit of a Dr. Morse junkie for a while, but he has crazy stories and pictures of tumors just falling out of people's bodies. And a tumor coming out of a woman's breast that they had to just surgically remove it because it just came out. And children head to toe covered in tumors like with lymphoma, and it just completely disappeared. Why? Through fasting. Fasting is the greatest remedy, the physician within. Autophagy. Cleanse the temple. So we hear these terms, autophagy, apoptosis, trying to avoid atrophy, like all the great A words. But autophagy, I know you're all familiar with fasting, so I'm kind of probably speaking to the choir a little bit. Really, my goal is just to like give you a taste of like how important fasting is and how easy it is to incorporate in your own life or in your patient's life, again, to see amazing benefits and outcomes. So fasting accelerates the clearing out of waste left by dead and damaged cells, known as autophagy. Auto, self, and phagein, to eat. So to eat oneself. God designed the body to eat itself. I thought that's cool. I think that's weird. I think that's crazy. Whatever. I don't totally understand how God designed the body, but it's a miracle. It's an absolute miracle that the body, when you stop putting excessive amounts of something in it, whether it's food or toxins or poisons or whatever, will actually start to renew and regenerate old, sick, dead, dying, diseased cells that shouldn't be there anymore, because God is an all-consuming fire. And your body can generate that fire within itself to burn up toxins and poisons. I love this sentence right here. Failure of autophagy to keep up with accumulated cellular debris is believed to be the major cause of chronic disease and aging. Like, why do we age? Right? Toxins and poisons damaging the cells. The cells can't renew themselves. They can't regenerate. Therefore, our bodies can't heal. So we have to help this process. And again, fasting is just a tool combined with everything else you guys are already doing, everything we're already talking about. I was going to mention this in the beginning, and I just thought of it now, but when we were learning about breath work, I just had this revelation, like, wow, if I incorporate this, I'm going to probably live longer. Like, my family's going to live longer. Like, all our patients are going to live longer. I mean, that's just like mind-blowing to me that we can incorporate these things that we're learning at this conference and prolong our lives. All right, so benefits of fasting. Metabolism, cellular energy. It's amazing. Every time I fast, I intermittent fast, but like when I do extended fast, it's always like day 4 or 5. Any of you have fasted, you probably experienced it. It could be different for different people, but all of a sudden it's like, wow, like I see more clearly, I think more clearly, my sense of smell improves, like everything gets better. The cleaner and healthier the body, the better the senses and everything works. That talk, like how did I follow the talk on pleasure and orgasms? I don't know. But like all the emotions that come up when we fast, like all the stuff that's trapped inside of the body. It's, the body keeps the score. I'm sure a lot of you have read that book. Amazing book. And all that's trapped in there. And guess what happens when you fast? Those things start to surface. But you have to be able to handle it. It takes community. It takes family. It takes good practitioners to help you through those things. You increase growth hormone. Stem cell production, that's a big one. I mean, people know fasting for cancer. Like, what do people do when they're chronically ill and they have cancer? They fast. Like, they know it's going to help them. The research, the literature is out there on how powerful fasting is for cancer or any type of chronic illness. Reduced insulin resistance, metabolic disorder. I mean, you think about metabolic disorder. What causes a metabolic disorder? It's an excessive something. An excess of the wrong foods, an excess of a toxin. So we need to clear that stuff out of there. It'll reduce risk of all chronic disease, reduce our cravings, heal and reset the gut. There's actually probiotics in the gut that cannot grow and proliferate unless you fast. So us excessively eating all the time, it's very damaging on the gut. Doesn't give the body a chance to heal and reset. So basic stuff. Again, I have a whole series I did called the Complete Fasting Series. It's on my YouTube channel. It's on my website. It's free. Encourage you to check out those videos. I wrote a book. I know it's a sin. I never released it. So like what is going on with that? I don't know, but I maybe trust in the timing of it. But it's called Restoring the Temple, and maybe I'm just waiting on the timing of it. But it's a chapter to my book that I have available on my website. So 12-12, beginner fast, you eat 12 hours a day, you fast for 12 hours. I mean, there's research that shows you actually do start autophagy within 12 hours. I think it's more like 24 to 48 hours. It really depends on the person, but you got to get through those glycogen stores in your liver before the autophagy actually kicks in. People always ask about keto and all these different diets, and I'm like, man, if you want to be a purist and you really want to heal, the gal that talked about the fertility, she mentioned the 3 to 5 day, I saw it on her slide, I don't know if she talked about it, but doing 3 to 5 day water fasts with her patients. Extremely powerful, especially if you do it right, related to a woman's cycle. 16-8 intermediate, you eat 8 hours of your day and fast 16 hours. For example, you eat dinner at 6 and then eat again at 10. This is like classic intermittent fasting, and a lot of people do this. And like I said, I do it with all my patients, and I get tremendous results. Women often are wanting to lose weight. I've never, ever put a woman on a weight loss program. And every single time they lose weight, just by these lifestyle changes. And then, of course, the old OMAD, 1 meal a day diet, also known as a warrior diet. There's a book written about that. So more serious fasting. I mean, if you really, really want to turn on autophagy and apoptosis, and you really want to burn up old, sick, dead, diseased, dying cells in your body, dry fasting is where it's at. Most of the research on dry fasting comes out of Russia. I have an entire book loosely translated from Russian to English, very loosely translated on dry fasting. They would dry fast for up to 11 days. Yeah, the body's amazing. I've done 3 days. That's tough enough. My point here is that fasting doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't have to be some momentous 40-day water fast. You can do 3 days once a month, 10 days twice a year. These are just ideas. 40 days once a year. Water fasting 1 day each week is extremely powerful. I've had quite a few people do that. I have a testimony coming up I'm going to share if I have time. But really, water fasting and dry fasting is really where it's at. Again, if your goal is autophagy or apoptosis, that is really where it's at, is water fasting or dry fast. So I just put 40-day water fast maybe sometime in your life. I know it's not easy. I don't know if I'll do another one. So here's the testimonial. 70-year-old woman on 18 meds. One of those meds cost her $500 a month. One med. 4 blood pressure meds. Protein shake for breakfast. So we talked about the importance of protein. I think getting protein in the morning is very helpful. This is just what I did with her. Everybody might be a little bit different, but this little scenario here has worked many, many times with many people I work with. Trying to get like 50 grams of protein in the morning isn't easy with food. You can do it, but maybe just a protein shake. She would water fast all day, and she'd just eat a basic like protein and vegetables for dinner. And after the first month, she was able to fast 1 day a week. So every Friday, she would water fast. She lost 30 pounds, improved energy, blood pressure, got off all of her medications. 18 meds. Come on.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, this is Vaughn with Spirit of Health, and I'm here with one of my clients, Melanie, who's been one of my star pupils. She has been amazing in her health journey, which is why I wanted to share this testimonial. Melanie, can you share with us why you originally came into Spirit of Health?
Well, I had many, many medical problems and blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, couldn't sleep, no energy, and I was on about 18 medications. And my first goal was to get off the medications, thinking that that would help the other issues.
So where are you now as far as how many medications you're on?
I'm on one medication.
Praise the Lord. I love it. To me, it's a testimony to God that He's a good designer of the human body, that He's the healer, and we really believe that we can make changes with diet, lifestyle, and again, Melanie, she's just been awesome at that. So what do you think the things have been that have helped you the most?
I think I think everything's helped me. First of all, I want to thank everyone here. If it wasn't for all of you, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Aw, thank you.
And so I thank God, and that's the main thing. And then just everything that you've asked me to do, I've stuck to it.
Mhm.
And the supplements, the diet, and I just think it's just been, and I tried a water fast last week, which really helped flush things out. So I think all of those things together has been what has helped me.
Yeah, well, amen.
She mentioned the water fast, but she mentioned being on one med. Why was she on that last med and couldn't get off of it? Fear. She'd been on meds so long, for so many years, that one med, that was the freedom moment to get off that last med, and she couldn't do it, but she did. With the help of her son, her husband, me, coaching her, she got off of that last med, but I really feel like that last med was just fear. So I did an 18-day water fast taking only CellCore products. I was supposed to do a 40-day water fast. This was going to be my second one. I started it, and in March of 2020 is when I started that water fast, but I had to break it. Does anybody know why? All HE double toothpicks happened at my business because we were running out of everything, and my wife's like, I think there's going to be martial law, and the National Guard's going to be called in, all the COVID BS, right? So I actually had to break that water fast. But I have to make a really, really crucial point here, is a lot of people think that fasting in itself is enough. And you'll read books that share that, like Herbert Shelton wrote a book called The Science and Fine Art of Fasting. He witnessed 30,000 people doing water fasts, all kinds of ridiculous stories, things coming out of people's bodies. I believe in the world we live in today, you need to help it. So I believe you take CellCore products while you're fasting. You do enemas while you're fasting. You do trauma release therapy. You do different therapies while you're fasting as an adjunct, because I think you have to help the toxins and poisons get out. That's just been my experience. So really encourage you guys to incorporate the CellCore products with whatever fasting regimen you're going to be on. Oh, who's read Fast Like a Girl? Yeah, great book. My wife does some fasting related to her menstrual cycle and finds it extremely beneficial. The Science and Fine Art of Fasting, I mentioned Herbert Shelton, great book. Miracle of Fasting, The Sayings of the Desert Fathers, that's where I get inspiration. These are my downloads. I wasn't cool enough to do a QR code. I don't even know if I know how to do that. But see, I'm going to be 50 tomorrow, so I haven't got all the technology. It's like not my friend, but that's okay. My 11 types of fast. So I go from like a Daniel fast, which could be like the most basic fast to me, all the way down to a dry fast, and 11 total different fasts. And I tell a testimonial of each one, like a gal that did a 10-day grape fast and her kidney disease reversed per the blood work, per her doctor. And I have all those kind of stories for each type of fast. My complete fasting series is free on my website. Here's our goal through fasting. Let us begin the fast with joy. Let us give ourselves to spiritual efforts. Let us cleanse our souls. Let us cleanse our flesh. Let us fast from passions as we fast from foods, taking pleasure in the good works of the Spirit and accomplishing them in love, that we may all be made worthy to see the passion of Christ our God, rejoicing with spiritual joy. So God bless you. I pray you discover the power of God that exists in each and every one of us to heal. And thank you guys for all that you do.